Hi, my name is Travis Swallow. My reading is called Just Business by Alec Hill. Brief overview. This reading focuses on two key principles of honesty and deception. Honesty means that you are fair, straightforward, and transparent, while deception is defined as purposely misleading somebody in appearance or a statement. Hill approaches each of these principles from both a biblical and moral perspective, which can then be applied to business. One of the main goals of this reading is to challenge the idea of rulebook ethics. Hill defines rulebook ethics as a simple list of do's and don'ts which is woefully inadequate. Basically, rulebook ethics is a system of ethics that relies on a list of rules that should be applied to each scenario in order to make an ethical decision, sort of like the rules at a swimming pool or the rules of a football game. The problem with rulebook ethics is that businesses are very dynamic, and it is hard to govern a business with a set of rules. The rules that should guide HR decisions are not necessarily the same rules that should guide marketing decisions. It is better to form a strong culture and set core values which can guide a business's decisions rather than trying to be too specific with the list of rules. One of the things that I've learned the hard way is that leading based on a set of rules is very tough. As a senior on the soccer team, I spent a ton of time with my fellow seniors creating rules and trying to micromanage too many different things. We found out that it was much better to focus our energy on creating relationships with our teammates and building trust with them so that we didn't actually need as many rules. Overall, we became a lot more effective as leaders and as a team once we established some core values and built a strong culture. The first principle Hill discusses is honesty. From a biblical point of view, he explains that honesty is the foundation of trust, community, and dignity, and communities cannot exist with the holiness that God requires without honest communication. In a more business sense, Hill explains that honesty creates reputational capital, which is basically like a brand image. After reading this article, I found that it was good to think about reputational capital like real capital. You earn real capital, in this case money, through work, and you use that money to buy things. With reputational capital, you earn it through honesty, and you use it to buy the trust of your employees and customers. Honesty serves to create a strong business culture, which can help companies gain the support of their communities by being transparent and being good stewards. Some common ways that companies try to earn reputational capital with their employees is by giving them stock options, giving them a clear path to advance in the company, or giving them great benefits. Some ways that companies create reputational capital with their customers is by offering customers great return policies, providing top-class service, or giving lifetime warranties on their products. One company that is great at creating reputational capital is Nike. Nike offers their employees benefits far beyond average. Employees at Nike get free access to massages, acupuncture, workout equipment, and huge discounts on gear. They build reputational capital with their customers by publicly supporting causes like Black Lives Matter and women's equality in sports. The second principle that Hill explains is deception. He says that deception devours credibility, destroys trust, community, and dignity. From a biblical point of view, Hill argues that deception is a tool of Satan and is contrary to the ethical purity and moral separation required by holiness. From a business perspective, deception will basically have the exact opposite effect that honesty has. Instead of creating trust and a strong culture, deception erodes a company's culture. Employees will begin to view themselves as working for you instead of with you. They will see work as a means to a paycheck rather than an opportunity or a passion. And in tough times, employees and customers are a lot less likely to support a business that they feel has been deceitful. One of the best examples of a deceitful company is Theranos. Theranos was a company who built its entire business on promises that they couldn't keep. They lied to their investors and customers and eventually went bankrupt because of it. Theranos claimed that they could successfully detect diseases with rapid test blood samples in minutes, when in fact the company was just fabricating results without regard to the lives of their customers. They were literally taking samples of people's blood and making up results, sometimes telling people that they had diseases that weren't actually there, or telling people that they were healthy when in fact they were not. My personal response to this reading is that understanding both of these principles is very important. Honesty and deception are principles that are industry and situationally agnostic, so having a good understanding of them is important. Whether you're running a business, captain of a sports team, or raising a family, you will always have to confront honesty and deception. Both of these principles are especially important in tough times like 2020 because many small businesses are relying on their reputational capital and the grace of their employees and communities to make it through this pandemic. Thank you for listening. Here are the resources that I used.